All right, hitting it now. We got a new show. We got a new show.
I should go patent that.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh.
None of us knew it was going to be such a thing. Then Canadian TV made it a thing, and now it's a thing.
Yes. We got a new ship. We got a new ship. Yep. That was from when we first were excited about Discovery. And we saw the Shenzhou wireframe. Yay. And then they decided to include that when they featured us on Inner Space. Yep. Yep. All the good old days.
And now here we are talking about the 12th season of the shows and back-to-back.
And the death of Discovery and the birth of this new Discovery spin-off show.
Yep. And how many showrunners have we talked to now? In private? Couple.
A lot. Yeah.
What a... Whew. What a world.
New show.
And it's amazing how, as you alluded to a second ago, in the olden days, one new show would have been, holy hell, Star Trek's back!
Yeah. Yeah.
But we've had Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, Prodigy, Stranger Worlds. 5 new Trek shows. This is the 6th new Trek show in 7 years? Since 2016. Although if you include Discovery's 3 reboots, then it'll be their 12th Trek show. And if you include Picard's 2 reboots, then it's there.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is very true. I've had a poll up since I first
Okay.
posted this, and so we have 100 votes on it right now.
Okay.
And it's, are you excited for the Starfleet Academy show? No, or not at all. We don't need it. At 36% is winning.
Right.
Could be good. We will see. At 32% is next. Yeah, but they will mess it up at 24%. And yes, 100%, no matter what, at 9%.
That's not a lot.
Telling. That's very telling.
Yeah. But we're here to tell you our thoughts, comments, questions. Have you guys discussed, theorized, and we can entirely work out the plot of season 1. I think that's what we're here to do. We can guess it, we can lead into it, and whatever we get right, we get a buck. So let's get going, okay? But as I say that, I'm going to walk away and do the...
Go and share that.
Yes. But would you like to talk over the Fleet video, Stuart?
Sure.
Let me load up the newest one, which is where...
I don't know.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
Must be that one, and here we
go. All right, guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live. We have 91 people here, 32 likes. Awesome. Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up to 50 at least. Now, as you're seeing right now, we have the Fleet video. This is the Trekyards Fleet. This plays at the end of all of our edited content. So please, by all means, click that join button. See what you can do as far as joining and get your name in the fleet. See the variety of ships here, the different postings. You get to see which ship you're assigned to, and, you know, if you become a captain, you automatically get a ship right away. If you become an admiral, you automatically get a hero ship right away. Hero ship or starbase or base or station or whatever for admiral. So admiral is a good rank to get. So if you want to see your name in lights, you want to see what ship you're commanding, you want to see who your officers and crewmates are, by all means, consider joining the channel and becoming part of the Trekyards fleet. This also gives you access to the Trekyards official fleet Discord channel, where you can chat not only with your fleet, with your crew, or with other Trekyardians, but also with us. We're over there as well, and it's nice to hang out and chat with you guys over there. So lots of good perks and stuff. There are some physical perks as well. If you just look at the perks on each of the rankings, you can decide which rank you want to be and help us out on a monthly basis that way. You can also head on over to Patreon/Trekyards, where the exact same tiers exist. It doesn't matter where you sign up over there or on YouTube here, you're going to get the same exact same perks. So by all means, give that a consideration and help us out in any way you can. But like I said, the easiest way right now, 101 of you here, which is just to hit that like button. We have 37 likes. I want to get up to 50 right off the hop. And also, of course, super chat in with your thoughts or comments during these live streams. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. And we want to hear what people are saying out there in the wide Trek community. We want to know your thoughts and just kind of expand on those. So it's not just Samuel and myself talking, it's all of us. So please chime in with your super chats. And Samuel's back, even though he's muted.
I said, there goes the roundabout, and then we are exactly timed with the video. Huzzah!
There you go.
Hi, Stuart. How was your weekend?
How was my weekend?
It's Monday.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't feel like Monday.
Okay.
My weekend was all right. It's kind of stressful, but nothing too bad. So it's over now. The week has started. Yay for the week. I don't know.
Yeah, so to you all. That's a bonus of the week.
Yeah, for sure.
I did bits and bobs, and I did some Romulan War yesterday. I did some redacted ships dropping out of a redacted hangar into a redacted atmosphere. It's quite unusual for what I do, so it was interesting. We'll see if he likes it.
How's it like Starfield, and then when you hear the and then you see like a black magic marker across the screen so you don't see what the ship is? Is that what you mean by redacted?
Yes. No. They're all what's that error code that you get? They're all 404.
404.
But like with the full motion, like, all the laser cannons are there, but the 404 warps in. Yeah.
It'd be even funny if you just like have the ship, but all the registry numbers are like markered out.
Big red tape.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm on iteration 3 because they had tiny notes require 3 hours of re-rendering, so I'm on that.
This is the way.
But it'll be a good little sequence. I pitched one of the shots. I pitched actually starting the hangar itself versus just the drop because I thought it'd be quite not a GoPro, but you don't often see that. So I thought, if we're already doing this thing, let's do this thing. It did. So
that sounds cool. Actually, I can picture it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we got some super chats in, so thank you everybody. Matthew Lebner throws in $5. Happy Monday, everyone. One good thing I have heard about this new show is that Tawny Newsome is attached in the writing department. Could be good. Could be. I don't know how good of a writer Tawny is, though. She makes a great Orion. I don't know if she's done any
Mariner.
Oh, is that who it is?
Yes, Mariner.
Who plays?
Don't know. Can't remember her name.
Oh, I thought it was her.
No, Tawny's a huge Trek fan.
Okay, that's good.
Etc. Yeah, she really gets it. I mean, and also, in fairness, Patrick Stewart was in the writer's room. You don't actually write anything. You can still do story by. You can still throw out ideas and bounce.
Yeah.
So you can still be a story cred without actually being a writer. And she's a creative person, it seems. So that's not necessarily the same. Okay. But in the room's important.
My brain was all switched because when I heard it, she was doing it, I thought it was Tendi. Oh, doesn't matter.
Tendi Newson, I get you.
Maybe.
Yes.
Sean O'Sullivan throws in €2. Oh, good. More Discoverse. Should be holy garbage.
I felt we have to read this announcement because the information we gleaned from it is quite. Because they haven't said. They haven't said.
No, but it's pretty. The writing's on the wall.
But they haven't actually said, and that's interesting. They haven't just kind of said it because you'd think that'd be the first thing they say. In the 32nd century.
Well, do you want me to read it?
Yes, I just want to bring it up first. So give me a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
But Ozzy has a super chat as well, I believe.
Ozzy does at $2. Welcome to Trekyards. It's Monday. Yeah, Trekyards. Did y'all enjoy the Trekyards episode? It was pretty fun to do that one, I gotta say.
But Trucker Stu, what's Trekyards? Stuart, what's Trekyards? What?
You don't remember Mechanic Sammy? You didn't do the universe crossover? Oh man, you were so great in that one.
Did I have a cap on?
You had a cap on. They call it a hat. They call it a hat down there in America. Yeah.
Down there in America? We're both American in it. What are you on about?
No, I'm a Canadian, you see.
Oh, a Canadian southerner.
Yeah, I live in southwestern Ontario, yes.
Yeah, but that's northern.
I live in the southernest part of Canada.
But you're a Northern American who's trained to be a Southern American. Okay.
That is correct, sir.
And people ask, are you north or south England? I'm not. I'm Midlands, literally the middle. That's what they call it. So I'm neither. There's much more south of me, and there's way more north of me. Like, Scotland is north of me, and the coast is south of me. I'm in the middle. All right, Stuart. Here's everything we have for the official announcement of for a brand new Star Trek show. Because and so before you jump in again, we had the original Discovery trailer, which was the announcement. That was a surprise. That was a boom. Here you go. As quick as that was, we had Patrick Stewart on stage of a convention announcing a new TV show. That was that announcement. Strange New Worlds was a trailer from the cast saying, "Hey, we're doing it." Prodigy was a poster, but it was obviously in production. And Lower Decks was, I believe, a trailer. How they first announced it. This one though gets a piece of paper, basically. It gets a graphic. No trailer, no visuals, a literal text graphic. That's not a good sign. Straight away.
It should have started out 40 years in the making. Starfleet Academy. Finally.
The final effing frontier. We finally did it.
And now it starts off with admission is now open to Starfleet Academy. Explore the galaxy. Captain your destiny. Okay, interesting. Good start.
Yep.
We're good. All right, let's break this down now.
Yes.
For the first time in over a century. Fuck. There you go. That just seals it right there. Our campus will be reopened to admit individuals, a minimum of 16 Earth years or species equivalent, who dream of exceeding their physical, mental, and spiritual limits, who value friendship, camaraderie, honor, and devotion to a cause greater than themselves. The coursework will be rigorous. The instructors among the brightest lights in their respective fields, and those accepted will live and study side by side with the most diverse population of students ever admitted. Today, we encourage all who share our dreams, goals, and values to join a new generation of visionary cadets as they take their first steps towards creating a bright future for us all. Apply today. Ex Astra Scientifica. That last word. Yeah. So there you go. If it wasn't for that, we're reopened after 100 years, it might be more exciting. Matthew DeFreitas throws in $5. Not looking 10 forward to this show. But I will watch because I enjoy my Trekyards community and time. Preparing for the worst, hoping for mediocre. Mm-hmm. Although, yeah, the clincher for me is the showrunners, though. We got Alex Kurtzman as co-showrunner, and then Noga Landau. Anyway, she's done like 4 things, like CW shows,
which makes sense for a show about teens.
Yes,
I mean that would be who you'd hire, someone from the side that does teens. You wouldn't hire a 55-year-old black guy with no kids to write a show about kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, entirely different. Just with like samurai hair. Like, we wouldn't hire Worf. That's what I was visualizing, I guess. I was visualizing Worf.
Oh, good God.
The new Worf, like, children! Do you have children, Mr. Worf? No. Jerry Astor walks in. Not me, father. Shut up. Alexander.
They need to remake.
Shut up.
They need to remake Kindergarten Cop, but Star Trek style, with Worf instead of Arnie.
Oh, that's Space Kindergarten Trooper.
It's not a bat'leth. Not at all.
Who's your space daddy and what does he do? So is it
and he's asking Alexander that question.
Who's your daddy? You, father? No, who is it? You. What? Why have I regressed being a teen again after being in my 40s? The thing is, this should be thoroughly exciting.
It should be.
An Academy show, which, especially, I don't know how they do it. Imagine, right? Okay, imagine if this was TNG era.
Yeah.
Like mid TNG, like almost TNG standard uniform, like literally mid TNG. So it's like super nostalgic but super good, nice uniform. and they rebuild the botanical garden on location. So they actually have the full location. So they can do infinite walkarounds of the exteriors. And then you can walk from the exterior into the interior, and it's one building. Because that's the campus. And that's the entire campus. And so you can... And then... The exact replica. Just that... And if they're... Or even if they had a trailer... At the bloody Botanical Gardens... If that had come out... 2 TNG actors standing at the Botanical Gardens saying, "Welcome, Starfleet Academy cadets. The year is 2347, and that would be cheap as hell to do."
And seeing the Golden Gate Bridge, because odds are pretty good that this might not be happening on Earth, considering that Earth has left the Federation. Yes, I know they're buddy-buddy now again. But are they going to reestablish Starfleet Academy on Earth?
But you're skipping, though. It's just imagine that visual. How would you
I'm imagining
that had come out? Just that single
that'd be
trailer.
great. Yeah, that or put it in the Lost Era with the Monster Maroons.
Well, be expensive then.
I know, but we could get little tidbits of what's going on in the Lost Era through the Academy show.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that'd be the cheapest thing to shoot, and it'd be boom, done.
Yep.
You could shoot over one afternoon, it'd be easy as hell.
Yep.
And because if you had that, obviously, if you made it that early in the timeline, you couldn't have cameos from the entire cast. So you'd need to put in the Picard era for it to make sense. Because otherwise, you wouldn't want, Cadet LaForge played by a 65-year-old LeVar Burton. And I wouldn't want to see a young recast, no offense to actors, but I don't want to see a young LeVar Burton who's, in a young Geordi LaForge who's 20. It's like, no, LeVar's amazing. I don't need to see that. Yeah. He wasn't that old in TNG. So you have to put it now to have everything. But in the future,
put it after the movies. Put it after DS9. Have Chief O'Brien.
People would still complain they look 25 years older when only being 5 years.
I know they would, but it happens 25 years after he started
Which
teaching.
Is Picard era, yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. You
move
have to
on
do it
from
now.
there. Well, yeah. But the reason you want to get into the reason why you think they're doing it in the time that they are?
Oh, feels obvious to me.
Pretty obvious. Yeah.
Now the century thing, the century could still mean it could be like a 25th century show or 26th century. It could be in the middle as another fresh slate. It could be. I mean, they haven't said where they're shooting it. They haven't said anything else. Could be 27th century.
Oh yeah, it feels very much like After the Burn. They've already set it up because Tilly's buggered off to Starfleet Academy to teach these cadets. So we've already got it lined up, ready to go. Plus, they've got all that money spent on uniforms, props, all that stuff. So
that's why I said as soon as this dropped, this felt like a somewhat cynical. Well, it depends because I feel like the Discovery viewer base isn't overly large. It's okay, but you need to grow. You need to do more, and if they said, right, well, we're not gaining viewers every year, we're losing viewers every year, and we're becoming more irrelevant every year because people like the other shows more in general. We can't keep throwing more money at Discovery than every other show, give or take. So let's just cancel Discovery, which is fine. You're not obligated to more seasons, right? Like, you don't get default 10 seasons. Like, you only commission a new season to make more money because people are going to watch it to make more money.
Yeah.
If there isn't to be made, you just don't do it. But if you're a producer, you say, well, hey, we've clearly had this as a potential storyline for season 7, Discovery, whatever, season 6, whatever we're at. We already have a stock full of wardrobe full of props and costume CG assets. If we just said it during that time period, we get to use the things that people liked from the Discovery season 3, 4, and 5, which is the president. The new characters are actually pretty good, right? Almost all of them are good. Like
Vance.
Vance was there; that'd be fantastic. Him leading a show would be honestly. Sadly, he's out of Starfleet Command, but he could be a head of the Academy. But even just saving the art design. Although as we know, every team always redesigns. Look at Stranger Worlds. They didn't even keep the season 2 Discovery uniforms like the TOS one. So they're always going to redesign a bit. But it's got a starting point. And you've got LED. The LED wall for an Academy show. Every classroom could be an LED wall. In fairness, that's actually, you can make that infinitely cheaper than every other show. You don't even need practical sets necessarily, especially if they're big and grandiose. You can do a lot with that, actually. Mandalorian can do mostly everything in season 1 LED walls.
Yeah.
So if you can save yourself $2 or $3 million from the pilot.
Yeah, and you've got built-in cameo with the Discovery cast returning every once in a while. Like one of them might show up, or
Yeah, as if they are their own sub-franchise. In the everyone's excited for a Picard or a Worf or a Guinan, wow, but the subdivider that's excited for a Paul Stamets cameo is like, okay, hey dude. The excitement is not the same. Why would it be? I mean, of course it couldn't be. Even just the fact that each of the different shows had 200 episodes. Discovery's had like 60. I mean, you can't even compare the amount of time to like the characters anyway.
Well, SCS Girl 2000 throws in €5 and says, I mean, what the hell is Tilly going to teach anyone? How to breeze through.
How to not finish the academy?
How to how to breeze through to captain, I guess. Tilly, career guidance counselor, yeah.
Yeah, because she is a terrible choice to be a person. Seriously. Well, no, not quite that.
Wow.
It's a little bit harsh, I do get that. Because she literally didn't even finish the academy.
Well, she was a prodigy. She didn't need to. She was so smart. Spaceport, £2. It's gonna be cheap, isn't it? Yep. Yes, it is. I just have no faith in the showrunners.
Yeah. One
of whom we know, and we know his track record. The other one, I have not watched Nancy Drew on CW, but I'm sure it's exciting and all that. She's also done like Tom Swift, Tao, and the Magicians. But I haven't heard of any of that stuff.
Which is funny because Sergeant Prodigy works with kids, but it's odd because it is a fresh start. But you need a show like anything involving children needs to be balanced. You can't be either political side, otherwise that's just indoctrination-y. You've actually got to teach future values that are universal, the more Gene Roddenberry stuff. But Discovery is literally the opposite to that. It's incredibly force-feeding you stuff. Not to say the stuff isn't good or bad, but it's not how you do quality television in a balanced way. And Star Trek's more, in general, more balanced.
Well, that's the other thing that annoyed me about this brief, and I don't have the write-up here, but it said, exploring a new look at Starfleet and a threat not only to the Academy, but to the Federation itself. It's like another Federation galactic enemy that their kids are going to have to fight. Why? Why can't it just be focused on the Academy? Why does it have to be some grandiose thing?
I mean, you're saying that, but would you watch a show just about kids who you do or don't like hanging out? You say that, but with no stakes.
Yes. I want to see regular interactions of people at Starfleet Academy. I think that'd be kind of neat.
But what if you don't like? What if you don't like half the cast though? Just because you don't like them?
It could work really well. Well, I'm not going to like them better because they're trying to save the Federation.
Are you not? It gives them a focus though, because one is just teen drama, one's focus.
They're setting themselves up for failure though, because Discovery was supposed to be an anthology series. It was supposed to be unique. It wasn't supposed to focus on the bridge crew. It was supposed to focus on the lore.
Character anthology. It wasn't an anthology show. It was a character anthology.
Well, exactly. But I'm saying they're setting themselves up for failure because it's like this is going to be different. As soon as you get Starfleet Academy, the show rolling, and you get this Federation-wide threat, soon you're going to be focusing on starships. You're going to do the same thing that Discovery did. You're not going to focus on Michael Burnham being a non-bridge officer or whatever. You got to focus on the bridge officer, and eventually she's going to have to be captain. Same with these goddamn kids. Right. They're going to have to be shuttled off to ships, and then you're going to focus on the ships. You're going to get to know the captains. Right. And these kids are going to have to take over or be a major part of they're setting themselves up for failure.
And they'll jump to captain because they have to, because that's the natural evolution of the show. And it's like, but how do they make captain at 22?
Yes. See what I mean, though? Like, the very premise, they're kind of setting themselves up to just fall on their face.
But it could be a changeling-style threat where they're attacking the Academy and the political structure on the planet. entirely subterfuge level. Because if the threat's to Earth, you don't need to leave Earth for it.
See, well, okay, so
assuming it's not on the space station, obviously.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Where is Starfleet Academy exactly? We know if it's in the 32nd century, cool. They can use all the Discovery stuff. You got Tilly there. That's fine. We've been introduced to 4 cadets in that one episode.
I liked one of them.
I did too, and I think 2 of them came back. One of which was not the one we liked.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got some set up there. Well, I would actually prefer that we see the kids from Prodigy go to Starfleet Academy in that era.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a better Starfleet Academy show for me, following the kids we already know who have been through a big threat and are now like dialing things down to figure out where they fit in the Federation. That would be more interesting to me than this 32nd century one.
One thing you've also got to consider, if it is in the 32nd century, TNG, we saw the Academy process. It was tens of thousands apply in a given section of your area of space. You submit one to go into a 5 to 6 people for a large chunk of space, and one gets in. So you beat out like 200, 300, 400,000 applicants to get in.
Yeah,
you're absolutely the creme de la creme, which is why when you see people like Discovery cast, like how did you possibly beat 500,000 people to get this job? It's insane. They're terribly used. But in the new Discovery season, if we're using the burn, etc., you can kind of caveat that with that they need people so desperately they'll accept anybody. And so the standard of quality is bottom barrel. Whereas in TNG, everyone should be exceptional. Now you can have garbage officers who have more drama and be more believable. Not I think they're going to care about that, but they will just say, oh, how did you get into the Academy? Oh, I applied last minute. And you got in? Yeah! And it's like, fuck. Wow, standards have gone down over 5. Because Starfleet is the absolute creme de la creme de la creme de la creme. They're tiny classes. Like, not a lot of people.
Speaking of a lot of people, 184 of you here.
Excellent.
69 likes. Let's try to get up to 100 likes, guys. Hit that like button. I'll talk about that in just a second. But Skeleton loves Strange New Worlds. It's in $5. Do you trust that the writers have the imaginative heft to convincingly portray a 32nd century military? Discovery seasons 3 and 4 lacked due to scientific or sci-fi imagination. Well, I don't know. I mean, the writers could be great, but I just know the showrunners I have absolute zero faith in right off the hop. So, and it's not a 32nd century military. The Federation is not the military, even though it very clearly is. But I don't have faith, and that's the problem. That's why we're having this discussion, because this is 40 years in the making, literally. They've been talking about this goddamn show, Starfleet Academy, since the 80s. And now Alex Kurtzman is going to be like praised as this hero that brought us Starfleet Academy after all these years. And that annoys the shit out of me, because he's nobody's hero. And I think this show's just going to suck.
Well, I mean, you can't pass judgment on a concept, because Prodigy sound like a weird concept, right?
Exactly. But I had faith in Prodigy since the beginning.
But that was unfounded, like in a good way. Like you just had
unfounded.
You know what I mean? Like that. But it could have. Yeah, well done. But it could have been terrible. And Lower Decks again, the Rick and Morty. It sounds terrible, as in conceptually. Yes. So this sounds like a more grounded, logical plan for a show.
It does.
If it was in TNG, Voyager, like if it was in the era that can use everything, it makes more sense. But it's all on the writing. All we know is nothing. Right? If you hire genuinely great, because the showrunner can be shit. If the writers are good, they can pull it up, right? Vice versa as well. So if they're announced and they have this great idea, because it's not Kurtzman's idea necessarily, right? Well, we hope it isn't. It's probably this other person's who's kind of worked into a pitch, and Kurtzman's co-producing it to showrun it, so it has some steam, right? But there might be really talented writers involved, because you would like to think that every Trek should hire amazing writers. And Picard got great writers. Prodigy got great writers. Lower Decks got great writers. But that's because each of their showrunners were talented Trek fans that hired good people.
Knew what to look for, yeah.
Discovery's writers were not so good at any season. Strange Worlds were good writers, and Akiva Goldsman hired them. At least, and he was terrible at most things in life. Seen his IMDb? It's a
yes.
car crash. So it's all in the writing, and we can't judge. I don't think they're in a writer's room yet. I would be shocked, given this level of graphic. They've a season order. They probably have some producers lined up, like actually lined up, not Rod Roddenberry, who's always signed on for everything, just to get a paycheck. And, no offense, but doesn't do much.
Well, that's what it is, yeah. And then to announce, Connie Newsom is coming. You know
she announced as well. They didn't announce it. She announced it, which is well.
You know me from that Lower Deck show. It's got to be good, right? Yeah, I know they're trying to, and this is way early in development. Even though they've been announcing this for like a year and a half. I
mean, I would rather have this than the Section 31 show. If I'm picking two, this would get 80% of my vote, hands down. And Tawny is a really interesting person. I really, she's very close to her Lower Decks character, hence why it all connects. Yeah. She does know Trek really hardcore. I have no idea what capacity she's being hired, but obviously she's going to bring energy to the cast, the silly young energy, which
if this was the thing is though, if this was any other era, I would agree with you. But where I know where it's going to end up, I'm like, I just don't. Discovery's been canceled now. Okay, it's run its course. It's fine. Yes, you said there are a few fans of Discovery that are going to be hardcore fans. Sure, this show is going to be aimed at a younger audience, which is going to get introduced. Let's say, just introduces their gateway drug into Star Trek.
All the fancy tech will be
standard. And then everything else will look like primitive. I don't know how I feel about that necessarily.
Yeah, like it'll make new Trek fans that won't want to watch the old stuff because it's not kid friendly. It's not flashy. There isn't all this matter going on. Although honestly, given that the future tech of this 32nd century implies a larger CGI budget, replicable matter, etc. But everything's trying to reduce costs. Now, obviously, the cast are going to be dirt cheap. If you hire unknowns, the casting is going to be, Michael Burnham, the actress, will cost as much as the entire rest of the cast of unknowns for this season. That's what you do, right? It's like Patrick Stewart costs a large percentage of the Picard budget, as he should, but a large percentage. You could count it, whatever. But it's expensive to be in the era. If they're in TNG, all the hand props are basic, simple and easy. You don't have all this weird stuff going on. And it's still the future, Stuart. They can still do amazing things in the future. It's just not the mega future. It's just odd because none of it's like prime timeline canon in the sense that it all got erased by Endgame and other time travel events. Like, it's not the future, really. Yeah. It's a future.
Well, we have 191 people watching, which is awesome. Make sure you subscribe. We hit 100 likes, but I want to go to 150 now. The poll has 263 votes, so let's end the poll.
Yes, I've got
the winner is not... are you excited for the Starfleet Academy Show? The winner is not at all. We don't need it at 37%. Second place is could be good. We will see. And last place at 10% is yes, 100%. No matter what. So, interesting results there.
I feel like there'll be some similarity to that in the Prodigy announcement. Especially as this isn't animated. So it gets points and for a lot of people just for that.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll start a new poll.
Do it. We got some super chats I'm going to read. SPS Guru 2000 throws in €5. Her knowledge is almost a millennium out of date. It's like putting a 12th century carpenter in charge of NASA. I don't think that's a very accurate analogy, but I see where you're going with it. Yeah.
Well, it's more like an engineer of the iPhone 1 coming to suddenly work on the iPhone 20. Yes. Like, you'd understand how the basics work.
You could figure it out after time, after some study, and you know the basics.
It's like anybody who knows how a Warp 1 engine works can look at a Warp 9 engine and say, It isn't. Once tech evolves to a certain point, everything kind of comes from that. So it's not the same as going that far back. But yeah, an iPhone 1 engineer would say, how the hell did you get that much data inside a phone because RAM got smaller? How? Well, we don't know, we just made it. And they'd be like, I can understand some of it, but not most of it, but some of it.
You should have put more options in that poll, man.
Yeah, but I just want to say, who wants it? Yes or no? Discovery.
Yeah.
I don't, because TNG is the obvious other choice, right? Of all the years.
Yeah, Joe Brown, $5. Not big on an Academy show or Section 31 show. We need a Shaw Titan Legacy show in the same vein as Strange New Worlds. Well, I'm pretty sure that's underway behind the scenes right now. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. So, Fist Rockbone, $5. Thank you so much. If there's some sort of galaxy-ending threat that only the plucky gang of cadets can solve, I'm going to be very mad. Yep, they have the bonus youth, the optimism of youth. That's what's gonna stop the bad guy. This old, ancient, older than the galaxy, sentient being doesn't understand them young folks, and the young folks they're gonna kick his butt. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
You said a lot of words there, Stuart. Wow.
I did, and none of them made any sense.
I'm glad you said it.
George Mangrum, $5. Tony Newsom, Mariner, is one of the writers. She loves Trek. I think it'll be at least very, very okay.
Again, writer's room, not writer. Is an important clarification.
Yes.
Because we don't know if she can write. It's like saying, Patrick Stewart, you're writing 3 episodes. I'm not having faith in that. No offense. He's not a writer. But idea person, yes. And ironically, if Tawny was a showrunner, I'm probably more excited. It's a hell of a jump. But I feel like she'd keep it on canon more. As ridiculous as that is. And boy, what a jump in paycheck. For her.
Yeah. Let's see. Kyle Wong throws in £5. It will be Starfleet 90210 or 91210. Corny writing with annoying teens.
But who says they'll be annoying though? Like, what if you love them?
You know what's going to happen. This next season of Strange New Worlds, we know that Mariner and Boimler go to the past, and meet the Enterprise.
Alternate universe.
What happens? What happens on the return? What happens if on the return flight Boimler goes where he's supposed to go, but Tawny gets gets thrown into the future, and actually her character is also going to be on the show, not only in the writers' room but on the show. No. Wouldn't it be cool to have a live action Mariner?
It would. Well, we're going to see her not that long.
Well, we're going to see Strange New Worlds, yeah. It's not going to happen, but yeah.
But the one giant advantage of the 32nd century is actually kind of the reverse. What we've been saying, in the sense of you can't have people from the TNG era because they're all not alive. You can have holograms.
Exactly, yes.
So in theory, you could actually have everybody come back. Now that's obviously, you could argue, far more, not clickbaity, but nostalgia bait. But they could literally hire, in the LED Walls studio, redo part of the DS9 set, and the kids go to DS9 and talk to, O'Brien. Obviously, he looks as he does now. That's fine. We just, from his later career, not a problem. And they have him teach. Maybe that's part of the curriculum, is having holographic lecturers. Now, if you do that as a concept, obviously you're generating a huge amount of interest, and then you could bring an X cast, TOS cast, a Stranger World cast. They could play any version of their character. That's huge. Is that just fan servicey? Maybe yes, maybe no. It's not that expensive if you base the sets on the LED wall again.
Okay, I like that idea. It gives me a little bit of hope that we could see something cool, but...
Because imagine every week you have a guest star And it could be even a small person like Leah Brahms, right? It could be anybody from any division, from any show. I mean, Walter Koenig could come back as very, 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 very old Chekhov.
I mean...
And if you're saving money on the main cast being unknowns... And boy, if they're literally in the 20 to 25 year range, who are playing 18-year-olds, etc., then the excitement you'd like to think of them meeting the legends. Yeah, Scott Bakula's back as President Archer, and you get to have a hologram simulation. So that, because you couldn't, that would not feel quite right in late TNG because they're not been dead long enough. In that era, everyone's been dead for 5 to 10 centuries. That's a long time. I think that they're all history at that point. What do you think?
It's a major crutch to rush your show on, though. I think it'd be appropriate to bring some people back occasionally, but
isn't then by that same obviously that's a fair point, but isn't then season 3 of Picard just the TNG cast are a crutch to stand on? Yes,
kind
obviously.
of. Yeah.
Prodigy, Janeway's a crutch to stand on, but it's a narrative flow point, right? It's an additional value. Especially as you could bring characters who you don't even know, maybe they were mentioned in old Trek, like Daystrom, as in like a younger Daystrom, or random people could mention, or bring back Carl, guest lecturer, the Guardian of Forever. He could be the time lecturer. Part-time job doesn't have anybody. That'd be kind of fun actually. Get him back as a lecturer. That'd be kind of cute.
Good T Nicehouse throws in 550 Canadian.
Thank you.
This is such a bad idea. Trek fans connect to TNG era. 32nd century is not interesting. Ships, aliens look awful. Multi-purpose combat is ridiculous.
I mean, that's a bit harsh.
Yeah. I think some of the ships are interesting. A lot of them don't look great. Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Some of the aliens also look really great. Multi-purpose combat, I like the idea.
It's the future.
I just want to know. Yeah, I just want to know how it knows where to transport you when you double tap it.
Well, I mean, Janeway had a net link in her endgame shuttle, so.
Yeah, well.
It's the mega future, right? It is the furthest future we could ever imagine, to the point that it makes everything else in previous Trek basic.
Yeah. Jill, 47, who's been a member for 13 months at the rank of ensign.
Glad you stayed.
I will watch this if Kovic is the main cast. Kovic would be great. Yes, Kovic. Bring him and Vance back.
Have the president speaker sometimes.
Sahil. Hashtag justice for Sahil.
Oh, Sahil's leading it.
Yes, he'll be like the main guy on campus, the commandant or whatever.
That's actually really sweet. Yeah, that'd be quite nice. And did they kill the Green Lady last season? Last season? I don't remember. The Orion Lady, the big bad Stuart. Remember?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did they kill her?
I'm thinking.
What was the name? Did they kill? I don't. Yeah. I don't know. That's sad. I remember. I think she might have been killed in a wall, or was Burnham hiding in a wall and shot her in the back? I can't remember. That's not a good thing. But Kovic.
Now she's related to Margot Kidder, Lois Lane from the movie.
Oh yeah. But Kovic, great. Vance, great. Admiral Lady, great. Or President, great. Security Lady, pretty good. Good actress. Some bad dialogue, great.
There's a new captain coming up in this next season who's a good actor. I'm hoping
with the white hair
going to be good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
because I mean, if they've been setting up, because normally you have these things in production for a trailer, for announcement. There's some level of we're moving forward. They might have already been teasing it in season 5, and we just don't know yet because obviously we haven't got there. This might have been the planning stage for 2 years, and they just held off until they put in season 5 Discovery. I mean, that almost could be a backdoor pilot season. I mean, really, we don't know yet until.
Osira was her name, and yes.
Oh yes.
He was pushed into the nanotechnology wall.
Her sister.
Very much.
I'll come back.
Very much like what's her name in Superman 3? Got pushed into the computer. Yeah. Became like.
You know, I think her sister Osira A will come back. Big one, but she's obviously a Space Canadian. She's a Space Canadian Orion. Osira A.
Osira A. Yeah. Well. Kyle Wong throws in £5. Section 31 show will work if it's dark and gritty. Section 31 show could work, but I would much rather have like a temporal investigation show. Yep. That'd be fantastic. And you could incorporate Section 31 into that. But as just a Section 31 show with Empress Giorgio, and would you bring back, what's his name? Tyler Vach, because he was part of Section 31.
But we've already seen a Section 31 show. It was called Discovery Season 1. Like, it was that dark and... you know, like, do you really want to see that dark and dramatic? I would actually like a Section 31 show if it was not dark and not dramatic. Like, the opposite. They're actually doing missions that we know they're dodgy, but it looks as if they're doing it on the up and up, and so you get this really interesting context of, oh, look, we're doing these very high-end missions. Kill them. What? Nothing. And you try and, like, hide the darkness. I think it'd be more interesting. It's actually almost overly light. You know. Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Not a Band account throws in $5. Hopefully, this show will have the Federation as a dark, amoral future. We know. Maybe a student is interrogated with syringes and squeaky wheels. Oh my goodness! Yes to all those things. Not a Band account, $2. Voyager promised us a Professor Barclay. Do it. Yeah, that seems like a no-brainer as well. But again, you'd have to use holographic technology in that case, and that might work, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, surely the replicatable matter is sort of a hologram anyway. I mean, come on, they've got 29th century mobile emitters. So in the 31st century, why can't they just have hard light holograms that just basically?
It makes sense. They have a holographic ship, so.
So really, they could just be people. Maybe we've got literally full-time staff. 1,000 years dead Archer, and he's a full-time staff. He has a house. He eats. He drinks.
No, you get like in the Force Unleashed, that your droid that can become anybody. You just need one of those wandering around. He can become anybody in Starfleet.
Hoshi?
Yeah. So
the guy from Battlestar Galactica? What? Everyone's here. Patrick Stewart, you alive? Yes. So there's okay. I know you guys put on the demographic. I get it. Put in the chat right now if you watched and if you enjoyed the show Gossip Girl, the original. Did you watch or enjoy the show Gossip Girl, Stuart?
I did neither of those things.
Okay. It was great. It was very good. Very, very good writing for ostensibly a late... Well, they look like late teens, but I guess teens school and they grow up as you grow up with a great premise and some great very good characters. That's where it really, really like grabbed people. So you can do very good teen shows. I know that was more about the rich people, which gave a lot more options because, of course, they could have second houses. But it wasn't that literal, but you could have stories where there's these grander things that you wouldn't do an average, in the soap operas, you wouldn't expect that. But it's a very, very good show that shockingly keeps its quality for the most part. But all shows like that recycle things like, you fancied them, you fancied this person in season 1, well, 4 seasons later, now Ross will date Rachel. Why? Shut the hell up. We're still going on TV. That can happen.
47 says, did you mean Gilmore Girls?
Nope, never seen Gilmore Girls. It's not a teen drama, I don't think. It's a drama about a teen girl called Does her name Gilmore? Happy Gilmore, what's her name?
I don't know what Gilmore Girls is about.
Marie's sister watched every single time I was there when I went to the house. So I've seen like 100 episodes off to the side. I know some scenes because you rewatched it. But yeah, Gossip Girl, very, very good. And even I was 27 when I watched it, 26. It's not like I was their demographic specifically either. Like,
what was that, like a month ago?
Shut up. No, No, I watched it not when I met Marie, but if it was meant for 18-year-olds and I was 27, it was still, or 26, it was still not necessarily meant for me. But obviously, I'm younger at heart than I am age-wise. No, Sheldon's girlfriend was not a Gossip Girl. I don't remember seeing her yet.
A lot of no's.
Well, that's fine. This is not necessarily the demographic, but if you did watch it, excellent.
Yeah. I'd heard of it. I just never watched it. So.
It's where Blake Lively, who's Ryan Reynolds' wife, it's where she made her mark. And she's really good in it. I mean, she's absolutely the thing that holds it together, her and the other main lead.
Yeah.
And the lady who was then in the Orville episode that I said, oh, look, girl from Gossip Girl, she was one of the other main leads. And most people on that show did big things after the fact. Like, a lot of them went on. They were... Sorry, side note.
Yeah. 212 of you have had to listen to that, so 137 likes. Let's try to get that up to 150. That's another 13 likes. I think we can do it. Hit that like button, guys. Keep the super chats coming. I got a few more to read, which we're going to get into right now.
Excellent.
Grant McGregor throws in $20. Thank you so much, Grant. I logically and wholeheartedly believe give Prodigy a third season and let a sequel to that series be Star Trek Academy. Prodigy is already an Academy-like series, and please watch Prodigy if you haven't. Your views are input. I agree with everything you just said. I said that earlier. I would love to see a Starfleet Academy show that follows our characters from Prodigy actually attending Starfleet after getting Chakotay back and all that jazz.
Have a couple so seasons overqualified, which is great.
Exactly.
Organically
exactly. They could be like Red Squad.
Yeah.
But with actual experience. So.
And not getting killed.
Yeah.
Spoilers. No, I agree. I mean, the Prodigy team would be great. It'd be fun. I would enjoy seeing them back in that way. And yeah, Prodigy give us 3rd, 4th, and 5th seasons. Seriously, it's the cheapest show you make.
You could even, after 3 or 4 seasons, send them to the future. And have them be in Starfleet Academy and have live action versions of them. Can you imagine having go from animated to live action versions of them in the Starfleet Academy show? That'd be kind of cool. Anyhow. Spaceport throws in £5. Is there any series that's been about any current military cadets as a template? I can't think of one. I don't know.
It's
don't know if it's a military academy based show.
I mean, it's quite niche for a reason. Because I wouldn't necessarily.
A lot of war stories have that as the first a 20-minute segment. You know what I mean? But whole show, not really.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know if I'm interested in. Would be interested in a show like that. I'm not innately interested in the military per se. That's why the Starfleet aspect comes in.
Well,
that's the great extra stuff, It
doesn't have to be just Starfleet Academy on Earth. There's different campuses on different planets. You could be going between the different campuses. Anyhow. Let's see. Cobweb Bobbler. $5.
Right.
Everyone hates Star Trek Discovery. Most don't even think it's canon.
Well.
Why would they do a Star Trek Discovery CW teen soap opera that will bomb and that no one wants after Picard Season 3? Because Alex Kurtzman thought it was a good idea. That's why.
I mean, some people do like Discovery. I don't want to give the discomfort of saying that, It's at the time, people didn't like DS9. I know it's not exactly the same, but DS9 was, wasn't enjoyed by people. It was not,
Yeah.
But then in a different age, it was appreciated at a better heart and better writing than Discovery in general. There was less baby murder, which I don't personally love. I'm not joking. That's the thing, though. Strange New Worlds arguably also could have bombed based off the same DNA of Discovery, but they had a golden cast. I mean, and you wouldn't think... What's her name? The Latina lady...
The character?
Yeah.
La'an.
No, the
Or
Tina.
no, Ortigas.
Ortigas. Yes. Like, in theory, she's really annoying. But she's great, right? Conceptually, and you didn't like her at first. Again, conceptually annoying, but the actress is very, very good at delivering lines better than they're written. So, and those two people could be the Starfleet Academy show almost without any changes. I'm not sure how young they feel, but they kind of like that vibe. So, they did it once with a spin-off that really succeeded in getting good characters, good writing, good stories, questionable art design, but whatever. So, there is currently a precedent for a strong sequel from Discovery. It's just every other show you should spin off from better or from more. Thanks, Vince.
Ozzy Medeiros has gifted 5 memberships. So welcome Steve Russell, Kevin Tipcorn, Sean O'Sullivan, Alex Graham, and Captain Casey Stewart. You are all joined the channel now at the rank of Ensign. Enjoy your time with us. And come and hang out with us on the Discord server.
And I was convinced you were going to say Alex Kurtzman when we said Alex. You half set my brain auto-filled Kurtzman, and I was kind of worried there for a second.
Alex Kurtzman, welcome to the rank of Ensign.
I was so confused. Because imagine if he just turns up alive. Hey guys, I'm Jenny Alex Kurtzman. Can I jump on? It's like,
I don't know. We might make him so mad that he punches a TV.
And then he turns on his live and he's surrounded by TVs. We're like, Alex, change rooms.
Yes. All right. Let's see. Kyle Wong throws in £5. Hospital dramas always do well. Do a show based on a medical ship, USS Grey's Anatomy. You're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. That's why I think a temporal investigation show would do well, like just a procedural. Plus, with the temporal investigations one, you could visit any era. Like, there's so many storytelling potentials, or so much storytelling potential there. It's insane. So
yeah, but it's the most expensive show you could possibly do.
I know, unless you animate it, do CG or something.
And then you have the audience going to be cut in half instantly.
But they shouldn't be. I don't understand that. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. Good Tea, Nice House throws in $5.50 Canadian. So thank you. My reasoning why the multi-purpose comm badge is ridiculous is because it kills the plot. Remember that stupid fix-it imagination thing in Picard season 1? Oh yes, the Ocarina of Time flute that yeah. I remember. Well, the programmable matter is what it was, essentially.
Yeah. But Mr. Brisby says, I thought Discovery is a success. It's just unpopular among classic Trek fans, I assumed. The weird thing about success is that some of the Avenger movies are actually technical failures, even if they make like 500 million in the box office and they're well reviewed, because they have a certain budget they have to get back. So you can have, so to find success, to call those a failure seems ridiculous, but if they're not generating what they need to continue the franchise, they're a failure. Whereas a movie that is a downright, like the Transformers films, universally panned in terms of review scores, but they're some of the biggest successes because they make money. So success is relative. Discovery is so expensive that, and they're not doing any merch. Like there's very little they're doing outside of it to warrant being a success. But also it's their tentpole show. You tend to give the tentpole show more seasons, even if people aren't watching it, because it's the thing that you started with, the thing that represents your brand. You know, if you cancelled a show that had problems, it looks bad. 5 is a very, very respectable number for anything. Plus, I can imagine they might have signed a 5-year lease on the building. Honestly, and these might, as silly as that sounds, they might have signed a 2-year lease and then up to 5 for a certain price, and now they said, well, to reinvest into another season is there's no way we're going to get this back because every cast member costs more. The audience is relatively going down each year. We've felt that every year. I mean, our views have gone down for Discovery because just people are just less interested. I don't know what you clarify success as, and you can't call spin-offs a success because Prodigy is not Discovery in any way. Like if you'd launched that separately, probably more successful, ironically.
Yep. Success is a weird thing.
Yeah.
For sure. Not a bad account. Throws in $2. Captain Michael Burnham should be the headmaster of the academy. Well, the thing is, they could do that. They really, literally could. Ugh.
But Stuart, be totally honest. If you had a choice of either Burnham season 1 or Burnham season 4/5, the percentage of yes, I'd like to see her back, it's got to be significantly higher because she was pretty good in the last season.
Yeah, she was. When she became captain, she was not bad at all.
Yeah, I just think the writing in general improved. Yeah, getting to see them, I'm absolutely fine with getting her back. Absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's a lovely person. You know, having her be and the irony is, she's a captain, but she could easily be a guest. Because I'm always thinking money and budget, right? I'm always thinking that logic. Because if you were to reuse the Discovery Bridge, you could easily turn it into a classroom. Because it's just a big, giant room, right? I mean, really, it's got a huge ceiling.
Flamethrowers attached to the walls.
Well, that's. Well, no. Yes, Stuart. Because when the kids are on their space phones, you have to get their attention. And
hands off your comm badge.
And it's like the Wizard of Oz. There's a giant face that appears and says, "You will listen." Everyone's like,
great. That's funny
because they've seen it every day. Anyway, but I mean, honestly, the only people I wouldn't care to see back in the show from Discovery is honestly just Tilly.
She's going to be the ones leading the show.
Because I don't know where you can go with her that's interesting. She's one of the weaker actors of the show, no offense to her. I'd like to see Bryce and Reese, because they could do something. You know what I mean? They could actually be a lead character, or get an entire episode where they can talk for more than 2 minutes at a time. Like, I'd love to see those two back, doing literally anything. Stamets, obviously, science man. He can, I mean, yeah, I mean, she's got a lot of character. Stamets can be, teach them. They could be literally a spore drive lesson, as silly as that sounds, but that makes sense. You want to teach the new kids spore tech so they can develop it and save the universe from warp drive. There's a logic to that, right? It's silly.
Even Detmer, as much as I don't like her, she's a fantastic character and could really transfer well over.
Yeah, Detmer, pilot school. She's got that feistiness. She's got all. The biggest issue is that they are so amazingly inept when it comes to what it really would be tech-wise. You'd need to have something of a sense of, we're bringing in these old school people to help teach, because they have the lessons from a bygone era, which has a whole new perspective. The pre-burn mentality would be gold press latinum, right? That level of, they have this optimism that they gained while being in a Klingon Cold War. But, still positive, etc. So they all have a place. I just wouldn't want to see a Tilly-led show. Does she strong enough actor for it particularly? And again, her career is not very it's odd, right?
Yep.
What do you guys think?
Yeah. Well, I don't think she's going to be the main star of the show, but she will be there. Because I don't think she can carry a show.
No. And also, her being so fun and lively would overshadow the kids, because she's too young to be the older character now. She was deliberately hired to be really, really young.
Yeah.
Well, how old is the actress? They're always older than you think they are, but
I mean, she's got to be Wiseman.
She's got to be in starting 30s now, I'd think.
I want to say 38 for some reason.
37. Okay, she's plenty old enough to be a teacher. They just wow, this made her play her 20s while she's in her early 30s. That's sad.
Yeah. Huh. Let's get to some super chats real quick.
And her husband come back, the Andorian. He didn't die. It's fine. He's back. Whatever his name was.
Not a bad account. $2. Why does Starfleet shrink the Enterprise after Strange New Worlds? Because, I don't know why. Don't get me started. Starbase Sci-Fi 1 throws in £2.
Thank you.
I'd be happy with the Lost Era in an Academy ship. Lost Era of an Academy ship.
Mm-hmm.
Academy ship, that's an interesting idea, actually.
That is a good idea.
For the Starfleet Academy, much like a cadet training cruise.
Isn't that just Prodigy, though, but with a teacher and more cadets?
Yes, it would
on
be.
A ship.
And a cross with Red Squad, yeah.
Which, it did work for Prodigy. That's actually really interesting, an Academy ship. Especially if there's very few places that, like, they don't want to put the Academy on Earth. Maybe they have, That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you learn more going out and doing than in a classroom. But when you've got replicatable matter, a little bit easy to make things.
And holodecks.
And I mean, future mega holodecks. Don't know what that's going to be like.
Just advanced holography, yeah.
God, that's it. Yeah, Academy ship's really actually smart. They don't say Earth.
No. And you got to think Earth hasn't been a member of the Federation for how long now? So I can see them reestablishing it there, though.
You'd like to think they would, yeah.
Yeah, because they're on good terms at this point. So. Ozzy Medeiros throws in $5. They never fixed the Discovery shuttle bay door.
Nope.
At warp speed, it's open.
Yep.
Let's see. We have 194 people here. 153 likes. That's awesome. Let's try to get to 175 likes.
All right, let's
more likes.
Finish the poll as well with 195 votes. We asked you all, wonderful people, do you want the Academy show set in? We have two options. This first poll: the 32nd century, a la Discovery season 4/5, or the TNG era. Is it close, Stuart?
I was going to say it was close because they both had like a 8 in it.
Right. Yep.
One was at 83, one was at 18, but that just changed. So no, they're not close at all. TNG era wins at 82%.
Now, those that voted for the 32nd century, can you say why? Anybody in the chat, what makes that an exciting era for you? No wrong answers, all interesting reasons. Go for it. I'll do a new poll.
Because I'm going to put in my 2 cents about that. Because it's an unexplored era. We don't know what's there. There's a lot of new stuff. A lot of shit's happened in 900 years. We could learn about it. That's what Star Trek's about. New things. New civilizations. Boldly going and all that jazz. And as we've said before, reestablishing the Federation, bringing it back together, getting those member worlds back. I think it plays a very... It's exciting. I just wish it was... I wish I was excited about it. Like I should be, because that is an exciting thing to do, is go that far in the future of Star Trek. But I'm not excited about it. Anyway.
Oh, no, don't have an option. Oops. Okay. Vote now or forever hold your vote. Okay, Sarah.
Right.
Good.
Do you want a Star Trek Academy show or Star Trek Legacy, a new Terry Matalas spinoff? Star Trek Legacy or Star Trek...
That's his name.
Wow.
That's the official name for it, so...
Okay, I was going to say it's going to be like our first 100%, but no.
Tim Ross, the unknown. Yeah, that's a good reason.
Jill, because Kovic might be there.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
I don't know how he would do, though, with a really large part. In the sense of we don't even know who the character is to judge if we want them fully. But there'll certainly be more in the next season, so that's... And let's be honest with ourselves, they very well might be reshooting that finale, or adding the extra 25 minutes, to literally lead into the pilot of Academy, which would make sense.
That's the vibe I got when they said they're bringing people back to do like a kind of like a last minute closeout. So
because also if that would make, because moving it a year or 9 months is a really weird thing to do. It's like moving, the Mission Impossible and the Top Gun. You're literally spending millions to not show it in a sense because your investors are wanting money back and you get pressure, etc. So pushing it back a year of release implies to me heavily that they want to start making Academy first, be able to bring those characters into Discovery and the sets, and then go straight and then reuse the sets, like tear them down and move them to the Academy show, have both that end, to then be able to tease Academy when Discovery airs, because it's now linking the same thing, and then going straight into Academy within like 6 months after that. Which, very sensible idea, especially if you were being really bold. It would make more sense if Michelle Paradise was showrunnering or continuing from Discovery, but they could actually add in new scenes across the entire season with the new Academy cast. Because the sets are clearly still in existence because they need them for the reshoots. So, boy, I mean, you could literally re-alter the season arc just a bit, film an hour at the end, slip it throughout the season. Oh look, we hope no one said no one said the amount of time these episodes are going to be. I mean, yeah, if you link them that much together, you can save a lot of money, and you could probably roll in the budget. Actually, yeah, you would. You know what you'd do also, just like with DS9, you would film the pilot of, or the first episode of Academy when you filmed those new scenes of Discovery, which means you can show Discovery in Academy and then rip the sets down, just like we saw the Enterprise D in DS9, and then obviously that the next time we saw the Odyssey, there were no more TNG sets, so there were suddenly these weird non-sets. I mean, how do you feel about that then? To kind of, yeah,
it's brilliant. It would be beautiful. They're not going to do it.
Really?
Exactly, because it's brilliant. They're not going to fucking do that. As much as it's like, oh, they should fix this for the Blu-ray. Yeah, that would be brilliant. That'd be a great idea. That's something they should do. They're not going to.
But a year delay, though. Why on earth do you... Either that, or they're waiting for the cast to be re-free because they didn't re-sign any contracts. So they need to wait a year to bring back Stamets actor. But boy, he can take 2 weeks out, right? There isn't a... There's too much to reshoot if we're going to delay for a year. Because they probably would have... Well, no, we don't know they're delaying a year. We know they're not in this year's slate. But that does give them an extra 6 to 8 months to make the show, and they would already have they're wrapped shooting 2 months ago. They should be deep in post.
Don't know. I want to address something real quick. Cobweb Bobbler keeps going on. $5. All I'm saying is Picard season 3 united the fan base while Star Trek Discovery divided it.
Yes.
Why not build on something that worked and felt like real Trek? You're preaching to the choir there, bud. We don't know. Well, actually, I do know. It's because Alex Kurtzman doesn't want to admit the thing that he started all this renaissance of Star Trek with failed. So he's going to hitch everything he can onto it.
Or at least didn't live up to its potentials, Joe.
Yeah, and there are fans of Discovery, so that's why.
There are a couple of good episodes.
GL47 says, all I want from Discovery is a good explanation of the tie to Calypso. Yes. That's a perfect way to end it.
I don't think we're going to get it.
Nope. But
because that was a different person who wrote that, and Michelle doesn't want to have to deal with it. Despite the entire coincidence, they also moved it to the same timeline in the future, which is an insane coincidence that two different people... Literally, you write a storyline in the mega future, thinking they'll never have to deal with it. Then the person who takes over from you moves your show to the future.
Only like 100 years off.
I love it! You couldn't write that. It's an incredible coincidence. To the point where Michelle's like, yeah, it's 1,000 years from when? It's 1,000 years from us. It's like, right.
Yeah.
Yep, 1,000 years from 1,000 years.
Christopher Peterson, $5. Those who can't do teach. Burnham would make a great instructor.
She's a good captain. I'll defend her on that.
Yeah. She'll also be a fantastic teacher for Starfleet Academy. She's so good at everything, you wouldn't have to hire any other teachers. You don't have to pay one teacher to do all the jobs.
Well, no, she can't do more than one class at a time, though. So
she can via holograms.
Oh. Well, then she doesn't even have to be there. Just make 10 holograms.
Exactly. Oliver Lavery Farag throws in £10.
Thank you. The real currency.
Says, I'm not against the Star Trek Academy show per se, but I am just a little worried with Paramount cutting their budgets that their slate might be full now, and this might affect the legacy. Everybody's harping on about Legacy. Legacy is just it's a whisper in the wind as far as I'm concerned right now.
It was like
I haven't really
their idea for season 5 for Enterprise. Like, we've got these great ideas.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the budgets. I mean, a lot of people were afraid that everything's going to get canceled, Star Trek wise, when they said that Discovery was going down and the budgets were being adjusted. But
it's weird they'd announce a show when things are being so cut, so slashed. Very interesting.
yeah,
But if they're hiring unknowns, if they do it on the LED wall, you can make it for a tiny budget. If they use all the same props and costumes, because the fact is, Discovery is so expensive per week because the cast and the CG budget, which is huge. It's got to be. They've got a lot of CG. But you need people. You need a weekly show to grab people to keep subscribing, to keep getting money every week. Discovery was meant to launch a network. Was meant to grab people at the start of the streaming wars. We had to be up against things like Lost in Space and all that stuff. But now, if you can make a show for 1/10 the cost, fans aren't going to know the difference if you spend it well, and they'll tune in and still pay the weekly, the monthly. You need that. They've kind of garnered in the world of streaming wars. You need all the time content. Because in the olden days, you had it released, you had sponsors, you had ads, and then you had Blu-rays and DVDs. 2 chunks of the change. Doesn't really happen anymore. It's different.
But Samuel, Jill47 says, "Wait, Samuel.
Hello.
He's saying that Michelle is punting Calypso, and we should not expect a tie-in."
Well, she said in her interview that it's not in her timeline, it's in the future of her timeline, so at some point we might deal with it, maybe. Because, you know, it's like saying, even though it's a fantastic story, is it up to them to deal with the repercussions of the androids that Mudd made? Or the Tribbles? Like, these things that shouldn't make sense in canon. No, because if she doesn't want to tell that story, she doesn't have to. Yes, it's coincidentally around her time. Very insane, but if she doesn't want to deal with it, she doesn't have to deal with it. It's not her story. She didn't start it.
And Jill is right. She says tight budgets tend to result in better scripts for Trek. Yes.
Star Trek Picard Season 3. The budget is clearly
Wrath of Khan. Star Trek 4.
It's like, I'd love to see what Terry could have done with the Season 1 budget, which is clearly massively higher, like, relative to what they had to spend. I mean, my goodness. Just to take out the COVID budget would have given them millions extra to spend. But, I mean, hey, people talking in rooms, for the most part, works really well. For the most part.
Raj says, just to add, they should do a Star Trek Anthology series. Now I'm leaving. Bye, Raj.
No, Vince, it wasn't necessarily. It was a possible idea pre-production.
Yes.
That wasn't Brian's idea originally. I'd still love to see, you know, Brian's original vision. It'd be super interesting.
Not a band account throws in $2. Mirror Lorca prequel show. Make Terra great again. Oh, good God.
Mirror Universe show, Stuart. There you go, with Prime Lorca as the lead, and it's really confusing because he's so good. Makes no sense. The story how a good man made bad.
Now, can one good man
turn
alter the future of a universe?
And he's the reason the Empire fell. Oh.
Spock tried and he failed.
Yes.
Can Lorca succeed?
Dum dum dum. Yes. But Jill says, that is stupid. Why bring in Zora if it's 2,000 years in the future? Exactly.
Yeah.
Because she said in the interview, she wanted to homage to that. She thought that made sense to bring in, but it doesn't have to tie in directly into the other thing. I mean, as we know, the Discovery original is Nebula, but they've refitted past that, so they've already broken their own visual logic past that, and there's other things in it that don't connect specifically, and they're doing in little things. Oh yeah, what happened to the Khan podcast? Oh yeah,
I was just gonna address that. I have no idea. It's coming. It's apparently. It's a
boy, if you don't promote it well, and then don't talk about it, everyone forgets about it. Crazy.
Something I hate is where they mention something and then it's like just rumored for like 4 years, and then you get an announcement. It's like, oh, it's going to actually happen now, and then just goes quiet. And it tends to be the way a lot of these new shows and things are going. It's just annoying as all hell. Lorca, there can be only one. Yes. Matthew says animated shows take longer to make but are less costly. Starfleet Academy will definitely reuse sets from 32nd Century.
I mean, it depends. Real shows, live action, you film them quicker, but the CG takes longer at the end because you've got to do everything. Animation takes longer to prep. So, well, it depends. And they're all so different. I mean, I don't think South Park... I mean, they can make an episode in a week. They have. Was it Susan Boyle when she was a thing, they just made an episode complaining about her, like, the same week? It's incredible. Where they have to do an episode, they just suddenly make it in a week.
So, hey, most of South Park's have to scramble to get it done in a week.
What's nice about the... Prodigy is that once you have the assets, you can run with them. You know.
Or work with them.
Yeah. And you can be a lot more creative with the camera angles, obviously. And because you expect that level of resolution, meaning if there's, say, a background prop in... Well, yeah, kind of, it depends. I build my sets to be more fluid than other shows. I just still love the fact that we noticed in Prodigy they've cloned the same mountain range like 6 times in one scene. It's like there it is. There you go, mountain range. Yeah.
Well, nobody's gonna notice that, Samuel.
Well, it shouldn't. I'm just me and I'm looking. That's all good.
All right, Cobweb Bobbler puts in $5. 5-year flash forward with Seven as captain of an Intrepid refit with Jack as XO. Maybe in another galaxy. Who knows? It's right there for the taking. Jack would never be an XO. He doesn't even want to be in Starfleet at this point. If anything, he'd be medical. Might be a CMO.
Yeah, it wouldn't be XO, yeah.
Yeah, unless something drastic happens to between those next 3 episodes that makes him want to join Starfleet.
What would make you want him to be an XO? He's shown very few skills of that specific officer. He's actually skilled in other ways.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's not a Starfleet guy. So that would be weird.
Sean Kesey throws in £2.
Thank you.
Forget that. What's in Hangar Bay 12? The D, the E, or both? I vote the D.
He always votes for the...
I mean... And Sylvia asked me... Never mind. What are you voting for, Samuel?
Well, as we keep saying, we know the Enterprise D saucer survived, and it's in the museum somewhere. I don't know why the saucer would be overly useful to them. Like, I can't remember what she said, but there's a context of... Yeah, it's like a non-warp capable saucer that's stuck in a museum that you can't get out the doors because it's too big for the doors. It's like... Okay. Maybe there's some tech on it that can help, but it's still old. So it makes more sense it's not anything to the D, honestly. Like it could be the proto, like it's not going to be, but if it was the protostar, something like that would be actually useful. I mean, more sense structurally. But we'll see. We will find out. Maybe yes, no.
Perfect. Grant McGregor,
Thanks,
$10. CGI industry is moving to a standard to port from one product to another, like Maya or Omniverse or Blender to Unreal or Unity. You can have an Unreal or Unity rendered show, then sell VR episodes. VR episodes would be sick, man.
You could. There's always caveats. The problem with that, though, is that they've then got to build every part of the scene. Well, I mean, that's the problem with VR. Or I guess you just make it black, and then just like, if you look this way, you see a black, which is a bit dull. Yeah. In my head, you have to like do a 360 set every time, which would be quite elaborate. And then all the coffee cups you'd notice.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
The Masked Dingo said the D is destroyed. Not true. The saucer was recovered and is on display at the Starfleet Museum. Find that out in season 2 of Picard.
And
if you read the little things behind them.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, they wouldn't leave a saucer section on a planet. So, like, it wouldn't still be there either way.
Yeah.
That would be ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But I don't know why they'd want a saucer.
A lot of people are speculating that it's Geordi's pet project to restore it. And the star drive section is actually from the Challenger, which he commanded for a while or something.
Flew in the decommission just for the lols. Yeah, that's
I'm not sure he went to the captaincy like of a starship necessarily.
Do you think he ever killed Chakotay?
No.
Oh.
I don't.
Timeline.
Yeah.
Maybe next timeline.
Yeah. The ship itself was destroyed. Well, the secondary, the star drive section is, but they recovered the saucer. Don't worry.
And I'd certainly argue the saucer is more important than the star drive because that's where all the people's possessions are.
Yep.
You associate that with the ship, not so much. Look, the warp core got destroyed. How many more do we have in storage? Lots. Okay then.
Yeah.
As in, like, in the fleet.
And Mass Dingo's that's opening a can of worms, my friend. How would they get it into orbit? Starships are built in space, right? Yes. Except for when they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Utopia Planitia, you can actually see Galaxy-class saucer sections being built on the surface. So, yeah, I don't like that idea. I like them being built in orbit. But anyway, that's a whole other discussion.
I mean, any and all. Depends what's easiest.
That's true. Plus, and you'd also have like tractor beams and like tugs that can tow it up. So,
well, what's easier, a runabout on a planet with some cranes, or 0G with you could build it in 360 and assemble it? I mean, replication, blah, blah, blah. But you know. Oh, Alex, yeah, someone mentioned that. I will let's check that out.
Mm-hmm. Probably for your fan things.
Yeah, who watched my latest film, guys? Fallen Heroes. It's now at 13,000 views since Friday.
Very good.
It's very good. I think people have now seen it, so you can give some spoilers. Stuart, any favourite bit of it in a spoilerific way? Apart from the
I said this last time.
I know, but now you can say spoilers. That isn't just CG, like a maybe a thing he says or something.
I only watched it once, so don't test me. I don't know. It's all great. The whole thing is awesome. The whole thing is my favorite.
I'm not even fishing for compliments. I just want to know what you gravitate towards as a fan. I'm not a compliment fisher. It's like,
the end. I like. Well, that's CG though. I can't even talk about that because you said no CG. So.
Well, no, that you didn't say it last time, so it's fine.
The dry docks.
Yes.
That's great.
The tri sovereigns.
Yes, and the launch.
Yes.
Which mirrored the Enterprise B launch.
Just a little bit. And did you notice when the Enterprise D separates? I'm scrolling. The saucer impulse engines turn on as it flies away.
Yep. I noticed that. Yep. I noticed they were off earlier.
I don't know if it does that. Don't know if they do that in the movie, but like, makes sense. So.
Oh, that's the other thing I really liked is the scene of the jungle with the sound effects and then the saucer. That looks fucking great.
I really pushed myself there. I said to myself, can I do the crash? No. What can I do of the crash? Let's try. So I did the coming through the clouds. It's almost the same shot from the movie.
Yeah.
But it's actually like 20% longer.
Yeah.
And it's obviously what I did is I took a shot of the movie and I took the still that made the most sense. Then I AI extended it and I painted stuff and I put it into the scene as a wraparound. So the thing's actually flying against a picture. But because I made it bigger than the scene, I can move it with depth, and so the thing has parallax. And I move it through the clouds by doing some transparencies, and it's just, yeah. Because the shots and generations are quite short. It's a dock; they're going to be twice as long. But yeah, weirdly, to have a saucer flying is a very specific sort of speed. It was quite specific. I wasn't expecting that sort of challenge.
Not a band account though. $2. Cage Era Academy. No women on the bridge.
Yeah. Thanks, Alex. And thanks, Vince. Much appreciated. Anything you liked in particular about it? Or you, Jessica, as well?
Yes, let him know what you liked.
Yeah,
So we can do it better next time.
And then obviously you caught the torpedo shot from the back, which remember it's the view screen, but from the exterior, which allowed me to make it a lot longer. I do think it's a bit harsh though when he says, he's clearly, his face is gleeful as he's thinking about torpedo hitting the Dura sisters and they're sad, their upsetness that they're about to get killed. It's a bit harsh, but it's like, yeah, but
no, that's exactly what somebody would do in that situation.
That's what I mean. Like, it feels like anti-Starfleet, but he's allowed a slight vicious moment when he lost how many people in the crash? I mean, how many kids died?
The one line that bothered me a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what bothered me?
Yes. Yeah.
I was going to mention this earlier, but I forgot.
Okay.
Having to get 1,000 people into the saucer section.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, there's only going to be like 150, 200 people in the Star Drive section anyway. Should have just said that. But I know that would have confused people. And there's 1,000 people on that ship, Samuel. So I get why he did it. It just kind of annoyed me from his point of view. I would have said something like, getting the 300 people in the Star Drive section to the saucer was going to be a pain.
Actually, the crew is 1,000 people. Trekyards should know that, shouldn't they?
1,012 to be exact, if you really want to get picky.
No, 1,011, because Picard's off.
Oh, good God.
No, so the rationale behind that was actually kind of specific, is because we see Geordi grabbing people and running through corridors, which are clearly not in the saucer, because otherwise they wouldn't have to run for their lives. They're obviously moving between the neck and the star drive and the saucer. You wouldn't need to run if you were already in the saucer. So the context that there were families in the secondary hull, and so I didn't want to. I extrapolated more just a general sense of just the crew, because it wasn't just the 100 engineers. There's clearly people doing things. Yeah, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Like 90% of the people, including families, would be in the saucer.
You'd think, you'd hope.
Yeah.
But I can also imagine that. I mean, the Arboretum's in the secondary hull, isn't it?
No, the Arboretum has been in the saucer. It's right behind the main shuttle bay. It's those blue squares. There's
something big in the secondary hull which is civilian-y.
Probably. I don't know. Yeah. The irradiated springs. It's right behind the deflector. It's all like the radiation.
One thing I wrote that I thought of you, because you've mentioned this many a time, a lot of things are like little references to what we've talked about deliberately. But there's a bit after the crash where they talk about how Beverly went straight back to work, which is a weird line because we just saw the crash and stuff's broken. But as you've told me before, the sick bay is in the middle of the hull, so it will be relatively unaffected. So therefore, of all places, she can go straight back to work. It's not an issue. It sounds odd, but when you think of that context, like, of course, and I think she would get straight back to work instantly if I was Crusher.
You'd have to pick some shit up off the floor, but I think it's fine otherwise, yeah.
But I mean, the hull's not, there's no broken windows, there's no actual structural damage, it's just clutter, is what I meant.
Yep.
Everywhere on the rim would be damaged to some degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing that bothered me. It was when the saucer came to a rest, there was no damage to the bottom of it or dirt, but I'm like, that's just because it'd be hard to model that. So.
Because once you start doing it, if you do anything, you've got to do a lot, you know? So just don't do any, and you kind of get away with, there's nothing. It's like I didn't match the damage impacts from torpedoes, because if you watch them, there's flares, there's sparks, there's fire. It's a movie, right? I'd rather make 2 new shots than do a 6-hour destruction part of a model, you know.
Well. We have 170 likes. Can we get 5 more likes? Get to 175? But I don't know. Anybody else have anything to talk about in regards to the Starfleet Academy show?
Thanks, Alex. Yeah.
Poor dolphins, yes. Poor dolphins. And the killer whales. There's killer whales there too, guys.
Oof.
Did we do an episode on cetacean ops? I think no, it was in our Galaxy class episode. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, but Dan, the dolphins, the whale tanks and stuff are like in the middle of the saucer again, so they'll be pretty safe, I would assume. Yeah. Oh, no, the beluga whales are only on... There's no beluga whales on the Enterprise D. There's only bottlenose dolphins and killer whales. And probably some alien species as well. Beluga whales are exclusive to the California class, which you still don't know why the Cali classes even have cetacean ops. But whatever. It's fine. Mike McMahon knows what we want to see. Bum, bum, bum. But the main core, not in the Star Drive section, when the Dolphins be there. No, they wouldn't be. They have nothing to do with engineering. They're all about navigation. So, yeah.
And if you want to be very... You could always link them to the lower sensor planetary dome.
Perfect. Even though that's the captain's yacht.
It's connected to the captain's yacht.
And it's called Calypso, which, he explored the ocean. It ties into whales.
Wait, are you saying the Enterprise D in Picard Season 3 links to Calypso the Short in Discovery Season 5? It's all connected?
Yes.
Season 1.3?
Yeah, absolutely.
Jill, we made the connection. We made it just for you.
Vince Pavey. Are killer whales still called killer whales in the 21st century? No, they are called orcas.
Oh, yeah, that would be a bit harsh. Oh, dear. I think I wrote into one of my films a reference that I think Keeley does go to Station Ops and hang out with whoever was a variant at that point. There's a film I linked that to. That'll be funny.
Yeah, it's worth a mention every once in a while.
Yeah.
I like the concept art for what it was supposed to look like when you went down there, because it would be like these beautiful tanks and nice sitting areas and stuff. Like, that'd be awesome.
Yes.
Include it. Fan film.
Lorcas.
Orcas.
Yeah, there you go.
Bring back the Aqua Shuttles. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I will say I've and you can tell me guys if you're interested. I have considered just writing an entire 6-minute piece where one of our cast is just standing inside Starfleet Museum's one of the rings, just looking at a ship. That's the whole film.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that, Stuart?
That'd be great. That'd be really fun, actually.
Yeah.
You have flashbacks to things that the ship did, or.
Oh, but that involves more work. I just mean just the clarity of looking at it. Oh, it's so pretty. Don't need 10 flashbacks.
Have it be the NX-01 refit and be like, they never did fix that fucking scratch.
Yeah. In my history class, I learned about that scratch, and they didn't fix it. Geordie tried, and they told him not to because it's too famous.
Where you can tell where the paint doesn't match, where they fixed it.
Yeah. That's 23rd century paint. Bad paint job, yeah. But I just like the idea of, and I showed you a render of this the day I got it, because I thought you'd want to see. I love scale, the idea of scale. Having people in that ring and looking up, the ships feel massive. Mm-hmm. And it's just the same camera that you'd shoot it normally for a film, but because you're in a relatable scale, your brain connects it, and so they're looking up, the Enterprise Reef would just feel like this majestic thing. How do you replicate that otherwise? You really can't without being a shuttle, but then you'd have to have you couldn't be as close because it'd feel random.
I just feel like the scene in Star Trek, Motion Picture in Star Trek 2, where they're in the travel pod going up towards it. You see the little guys waving that are on the space dock.
Hey, Kirk! Big fan! Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So I feel like the refit would definitely be the one you'd want to look at, as in the Enterprise refit, or I guess the A in this situation, because it's pretty.
It's pretty.
Yeah. I just like it of a simple film because I do big films. It's nice to have simple films too.
You just have a kid screaming in the background, "Mommy, why is there a Klingon ship here? Why are those pie-headed bastards ships represented? What's going on?"
Do you want to play the kid? Is that what you're saying?
Shut up, kid.
Do you want to play your next role in Trek Shorts can be a kid?
Sure, I'll be a kid's voice. Mommy, Daddy says those Klingons are bastards.
They killed my granddad. What? They killed my great uncle. What? Oh dear. Or, Daddy, why do they have why do they have ridges? Why aren't they purple with God knows what?
Yeah.
Well, we have talked about doing something that involves the Discovery Klingons.
Indeed.
We have talked about it.
Discovery Klingons. We have talked about it. And I'm excited for this idea.
Gotta get you to the UK, Stuart. It's the only problem.
I know.
How might we get Captain K. Stewart? Samuel, do Voyager in the correct way. That's true.
What do you mean in the correct way?
You know how. You know, with the correct lighting and texturing and registry and details and windows and
Oh, yes.
all of those.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep.
Vince, random question. Do you have a CG shuttle set big enough for 2 people? Yes. It's called Any Shuttle. They're all 2-people shuttles. Every shuttle. Even the 2S one. Which I do have a model of, but I've never bothered texturing because I haven't needed it. Because I'd have to texture it. And it's complicated because it's got lots and lots and lots of buttons. And you've got to make them all manually. It sucks.
Dan has a good point.
Oh.
He says, do a Star Trek engineering show that looks at the ships. No, what you need is, Dan, I'm going to use your idea. Starfleet, the Museum. The Stories of the Museum or something. Because there's a show called Tales of the Museum, which it's a really good show. We learn about different historical things. You could definitely have like a spin-off show of Tales from Starfleet Museum, where you just focus on one ship and just a little adventure from one of the crew that were on the ship during some kind of mission. They could definitely do something like that. That'd be neat. Now that we know what Starfleet Museum looks like, maybe we'll see the interior at some point, but at least we can go from what we know now. I mean, hey.
I mean, the museum is a nice thing to utilize. Yeah. Just you've got all these ships waiting to be used. Just go to the museum and use them.
Yeah.
It is odd. I feel like back to the Academy Show, Stuart. I felt the Academy Show is the most fresh in that you can start from nothing easiest. A Legacy, you have to have all the cast that we've seen. Okay. Having anything in the TOS area, you kind of have to use Kirk as Spock because they can't go away from it apparently. Anything TNG you'd want to see. It's the most, I guess, the most fresh, etc. Captain Casey Stewart does the Sydney class have a shuttle bay, and could you fit a runabout? Well, I put a shuttle bay in it for my film.
I don't think I was going to answer that too. I don't think it's big enough for a runabout. I think for like the smaller, like Type 15.
I mean, if you hollowed it out, you could fit it. Like there is enough space to put one in. If it was a dedicated runabout carrier, but a bay would be like most of the hull. Yeah, I deliberately had them launch the tiny little pods.
Yeah.
To be like, yeah, it's just big enough for those.
Yep. I like the Sydney class. It's one of my favorites.
Even though it's literally just this shuttle from Star Trek 3, but it works. It just kind of works. Yeah.
Yep. Dan says, what exactly is an anthology? An anthology is every episode is focused on a different character or a different story or a different time. They don't necessarily connect to each other. Mm-hmm. Things like Tales from the Crypt or an anthology, where every episode or even a couple of stories per episode are not linked to each other. So,
a great example, or then they shifted it right at the last minute, is the What If by Marvel. That was technically an anthology show until it wasn't.
Yep.
For better or for
Collection
worse.
Of stories, yeah.
Yeah, it's just expensive though, because obviously an anthology show you need to then have new costumes, sets, props each week.
Unless it's animated.
Well, then you still need new custom sets, ships, and props each week.
Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah, no, it'd be quicker for sure. Well, and the joke about doing it animated is that if you went linear, we talked about this years ago, but the Enterprise refit sets become the D sets. So you could literally kit bash your geometry like they did. Transporter, and once you build it once, you just rip it apart and reassemble it in the 5 ways, and they got every single one. Ooh, Rob Baco's narrator. That's a great idea.
That's a fantastic idea.
Short Treks is an anthology, yes. Yes. Trek Shorts is kind of too, but it's more character focused.
But you follow the same characters, so
yes,
not really an anthology.
Yeah.
That's like saying The Mandalorian's an anthology, because every episode's about something kind of different, but not.
Well, no, because I swap characters each episode.
I know, but they all link together, and they all know each other, and I wouldn't call it an anthology, unfortunately.
But it's like if you had a season where one episode was Mandalorian, one was Ahsoka, one was Bo-Katan, and they're entirely different stories that didn't connect, like, except the grander universe. That'd be anthology, because each episode would be a different...
Yes.
So the fact that...
Yeah. I mean, that's not how I see an anthology, though.
But it is technically an anthology.
Yeah, technically, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just connected by the overall medium.
Yep.
But that would be... that actually be a kind of smart way as well for Lucasfilm to go as well. They did that for a book series. I mean, they did all sorts of books. There was the Tales of the Cantina, where they did like different bounty hunters, which was fun. I think, or no, it might be different. One of them, because I listened to a lot of the Star Wars stuff at a time, and I loved them. I think I sort of listened to them in release order, give or take, so some connected. And so it was a Cantina story that then had a character that then directly went into a real story where they find a Death Star laser, like a prototype one on like a planet, and it's like, holy hell, I'm just a music player and I found a Death Star laser. What? And it was just a funny, like, they'd just been a gentle story about something nonsense, now they find a Death Star laser. It was a fun dichotomy.
Yeah.
But I'm going to finish this poll, though. We asked you, wonderful people, do you want to start an Academy show or a Legacy New Matas spin-off? 90% would rather a Legacy. Okay. There we go. There you go, Terry. Now you know. Now you know.
Knowing's half the battle.
G.I. Matas.
All right, guys. I guess we'll call it there. So,
this is fun.
Starfleet Academy Show.
It
could be great.
Depends who you hire.
It could also suck.
Depends who you hire.
As we say here all the time, we are cautiously optimistic.
Yes. Just don't get Brian Fuller back.
Yeah, Alex Kurtzman's bad enough. Let's just stay away from Brian.
Yeah, he's not the best choice. But you guys are the best choice. So join us tomorrow for another thing about a thing, talking about a thing while we look at a thing. We'll
join us
decide.
tomorrow.
Yes.
We don't know what we're talking about yet.
No, we don't.
We'll do something.
Can you tell?
No.
Can you tell, audience?
We covered that beautifully.
Yes.
We have everything planned, don't you know, all the time.
No, yes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, he is Commander Coggins.
He is Captain Foley.
See you guys later.
Bye, guys.